Hi guys, today we're going to talk about seeds. All about seeds. You're going to see my seed collection. You're going to see packs of seeds. We're going to give you a little bit things about seeds. I'm going to show you little segments and stuff like that. What you're going to see, guys, is all my seeds. And I'm not exaggerating. Every single one of these seeds was going to the garbage. Not exaggerating. So every single one of these was destined for the landfill, and that is not acceptable. So this bag, the entire bag is full of different kinds of lettuces and leaf mixes. This one, it's all cucumbers. This, it's nothing but carrots. This one, it's all spinach. This, all flowers, perennials and annuals. This one, oregano, parsley, basil, herbs, everything on the floor. All of this, that's all mixed. This is all separated also. This should not happen. It should not go to the garbage. Okay, so you're staring at two different packs of seeds. One is written Valley Green, which is the Page Seed Company, and one is Mackenzie. And a lot of seed packaged, what you're going to see is, I'm going to show you. So you're going to see the little GMO thing crossed off, which means non-GMO seeds, or you're going to see this one that says non-genetically, okay, it's blurry, non-genetically engineered, in brackets GE seed. So at one time you couldn't get genetically modified seeds for the home gardener or like this homesteader or small-time farmer, whatever, if you were buying from these companies. There was no GMO seeds available. However, that is not the case anymore. To my knowledge, there is now a tomato that is actually genetically modified, and they are selling it as fact GMO seeds. So the sad fact is we can no longer say that all seeds are non-GMO. Packed for 2023, sell by November 23. Origin USA, lot number 9. Now, in my opinion, that sell by date of November 2023 is absolutely bullshit. And the only thing that will happen with your seeds is you will get less germination. So let's see, this seed pack has 150 seeds in it. And the older they get, the less will germinate. So instead of having 150 germinate, maybe you'll have 120. Maybe you'll have 100. Maybe in 10 years' time, you'll have half. The fact is, we don't know for sure. Now, this is a Mackenzie seed pack. So if you go to the back, you're going to see a little code here, and it says A4. And when you go to the Mackenzie website, you can find out what A4 stands for. So the 4 means the seed pack was done in 2024. Okay? Now it could mean that the seed pack was done in 2014, but I know these came out of a grocery store in that year, so I know it's 2024. But there's nothing wrong with these seeds. There's absolutely nothing wrong with them. You can still use them. Now I wanted to talk to you about these seeds, okay? These are some very special seeds to me. Long story short is I used to work at a thrift store, and these were donated. And I knew the lady. She was a very nice customer, and she has been collecting seeds all her life. So each one of these is written what it is. Well, most of them, not all. But this one says, first of all, it's French, so it says Petite Tomate Mélangée, 5 of October 1977. I was born in 1979 and I'm 46 years old. So these seeds are older than me. So Petite Tomate Mélangée means small tomato mixed. and it's full of seeds. So each one of these, first of all, look how cool this is. This is a very old Alka-Seltzer bottle with a metal cap and a glass bottle. So that's awesome. And she has a newspaper clipping in here, and it says these are from October 78. The oldest ones I could find, this is 76. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the oldest ones I found were from 1975, 76 here. Yeah, so there's some from 75, and it says tomatoes, peppers. There's just so many. Now, I'm going to try to germinate these seeds and grow these seeds this year. Well, in 2026. Right now, filming this, we're in November 2025. So I'm going to try to germinate them this year and see if I can get anything to grow. So her little note on this one says, what does it say? It says, excuse me for the focusing of the camera. It says, Grosse Tomate, which means big tomato, April 23rd, 1976. So I'm going to try, because if you don't plant it, you'll get nothing. But if you plant it, you might just get something. And I'm very curious, because it's a possibility that some of these seeds don't exist anymore. Maybe it's a variety that's no longer offered to people. So I'm so excited, and I'm going to try and germinate all of them. And I pray that they germinate, because it's just going to be proof that a seed does not go bad, and therefore dates don't matter. So there's a few things I want to talk about today. If we're talking about industrial farming, okay, so the farmers, I don't know if you guys know about Monsanto and all that stuff. Some of these farmers, they're not allowed to save seed. They have to buy seed every year because they're under contract by Monsanto, which is now Bayer, by the way. And they're not allowed to save seed. And it gets way more complicated than just that statement. It gets way more legal with contracts and stuff. But I think it is absolutely another thing that is wrong. It also goes for the regular farmer, the homesteader, the hobby gardener, anybody. If you want to save seeds, you should have the right to do so. It's very simple. How do you save a seed? Well, that's a whole other thing, but normally, let's say you grow broccoli, and the broccoli is growing into a nice big head. Well, don't harvest the broccoli. You know, usually I grow a bunch of stuff, but I leave one plant to go to seed. So your broccoli is essentially a giant flower. It's going to flower and have all these beautiful flowers. And the butterflies love them, and they're very pretty actually. And then the flowers are going to drop, and they're going to make seed pods. And you wait till the end of the season where they're all dry and dead completely, and then you just harvest those pods, crack open the pods, and now you have broccoli seeds for you can get hundreds if not thousands of your own seeds by saving seeds, so you don't have to buy seeds every year. So like I said, I have some seed packages here, and like this is marked $3.29, this is marked 79 cents, this is marked $3.29, this is Burpee, Mackenzie, this is the Page Seed Company. I believe this was sold at Giant Tiger, if I'm not mistaken, and or the dollar stores. So if you're paying full price for your seed packages, or you're waiting for a sale, it still costs money, right? But if you can save your seed, you're like seed rich. You don't have to pay for seeds. So people should be allowed to save seeds, whether you're an industrial farmer or gardening for fun. You should be allowed to save seeds so you don't have to buy them all the time. I showed you my seed collection and all those seeds I have. That is an enormous amount of seeds. I am never going to get through that many seeds. I don't have land to plant that much seeds, but I'm going to plant as much as I can, And if I can't eat it myself, I'm going to give it away to family and friends. Now, every single seed packet you saw, including all these, they were going to the garbage. And I'm not exaggerating. 99% of those seed packages, with the exception of maybe 5, I had bought some from VZ Seeds online before getting those seeds, and they were all going to the landfill, to the garbage. Do you know why? Because of that stupid date and that stupid law of grocery stores, or whatever it's called. So when they write on the seed packet, packed for 2023, sell by November 2023. I understand putting the package date because it tells you that these seeds are from 2023. Okay, fine. But to put a sell by date, that's not acceptable. Because what happens is, this seed packet was $3.29. Normally when you see seed packets in the store, they don't really come on sale. They don't do like half price or 3 for whatever, or buy one get one free. If they do in your area, you're lucky, because I have never seen it. And so when it gets close to the sell by date, right, and it gets the end of summer into fall, they dump their seeds. They literally take the whole display box. Sometimes you'll see a huge box with all these in it, with the little squares, or whatever their display is, and they will take those seeds and they will throw them into their giant garbage bins outside, and then the trash guy will come and collect it, and they'll go to the garbage. So my sister, God bless her, she works at a grocery store, and when they pull their seeds off, their boss is nice enough to offer the seeds to their employees. So people take some, and my sister takes anything that's left, and then she sends it to me. So she either drives up here, because she's coming to visit anyways, and brings me the seeds, or sometimes I'll pay the shipping and she'll throw it all in a box. So technically the seeds only cost me the price of shipping, okay, if that. But it was so bad this year. I got so much, and it should not be thrown in the garbage. It's not acceptable. It really upsets me, because they say, you know, some people don't have money and some people don't have food. Well, you know what? I used to live in an apartment, and I didn't have a backyard. There was a backyard, but we weren't allowed to use it. So I had a tiny little balcony, and I took my little tiny seed packages of tomatoes, and I took a little tiny container. A tomato plant needs 1 foot square to grow. So basically, a little container, think dinner plate size. And I planted a tomato, and I planted a cucumber, and I had my cucumber trailing around my thing. And at least it was something. Okay? Now, the other thing I want to talk about is seed packages. I'm holding 3 seed packages from the Burpee Company, the Mackenzie Company, and the Page Seed Company. Okay? There is many others also that I have, but this is the perfect example. You have a seed packet that is paper with a plastic window. You have an all paper package, and you have an all plastic package. So why do they do that? Why do you have all plastic, all paper, and then a mix of paper and plastic? Well, that's the choice of the company selling these seeds. Okay? But a lot of times when you do your research and you check, they're switching to plastic because they claim the plastic is cheaper to produce and to have your seed packet. They're claiming that it's better for branding, so you can put, like, you know, a nicer picture or graphics or whatever, but this is paper and you can do the same thing. Clearly they both look fine, you know, but they're claiming that it's cheaper. In my opinion, I don't know the numbers, so I can't tell you if it is cheaper, but they should be, in my opinion, they should be all paper. Do you know why? Because when I plant, these are beets. Beets are good. Pickled beets are good. When I plant beets or any kind of seed package that's all paper, I take this when it's empty and I actually dig a hole in my raised bed and I stick the whole paper package into the raised bed and it breaks down. You can rip it up into little pieces to make it easier. You can also rip it up into little pieces and put it into your home compost, or you can put it into your industrial compost if your town has that. Not everybody has that, but it is compostable. If not, it's recyclable. Or if you have a fire pit, this is just paper. It's not plastic coated, okay? There's no plastic in this. You can throw it into like to start a fire in your fire pit or whatever. So, what have we learned? We've learned that sell-by dates are bull. Plastic packaging is not needed. You could do paper. Farmers should be allowed to buy new seeds, save their seeds. Everybody should be able to save their seeds. And a really cool fact that we found online that my son helped me find because he's helping me. The oldest seed ever germinated that actually grew into a full plant was a 2,000-year-old seed. Now, I'm not going to pronounce it correctly. From the Judean date palm seed. And they found it in Herod the Great's palace because it was preserved in a cool, dry place, not by freezing, and it was germinated in 2005. And that seed was 2,000 years old, and it still grew. I have goosebumps because that just proves that all these dates and stuff, it's not true. And a lot of these grocery stores and big box stores, they're selling seeds and they're selling garden stuff because they're assuming that people just do gardening for a hobby. They do it for fun, you know? Well, yes, it's fun. Yes, it's therapeutic. It's cheaper than therapy. It makes me happy. That's why I do it. But this is not a hobby. You know what I mean? I'm doing it to grow food, mostly to put in my freezer for the winter. I live in zone 5B6, Quebec, Canada. We have winters. It's currently November. There's snow on the ground. There's no growing here. Unless you have an industrial heated greenhouse, which you can do that, but 99% of people do not have that. So I grow to put in my freezer to eat off of all winter. If I have to buy stuff at the grocery store or whatever, yes, of course I'm going to do it. I also don't have the space to grow everything, but I'm growing as much as possible. And there's something new I want to try this year. Rogue gardening. What does that mean? It's a little touchy subject. It's a little possibly illegal. For example, near me, there is a huge bike path. The bike path is next to a train track. It's just fields. And they have the huge hydroelectricity towers to hold the wires and stuff. It is open field that is not used for nothing. They used to mow it every single year. Now they are letting it grow wild or natural for the monarch butterflies and everything. So all the people call weeds are coming up, and they let the butterflies go. But in general, they're not doing nothing with it. So I'm going to get a little sneaky. I'm going to go into these areas and I'm going to carve out a little tiny area and grow food. And I'm going to see if it works. I'm going to see if anybody finds it, if anybody takes it and eats it, if anybody destroys it, or if it's going to stay hidden. I want to know what's going to happen to it. I'm very curious. So all I'm going to do is walk up there with some seed packages, dig a little hole, and see what grows for fun. It's literally being used for nothing. And if it was me and my opinion and what I could, I would take that entire area, and you're talking about thousands upon thousands of feet. You're talking about acres. If you added it up, it would be acres that you could grow food for your community and for the people. So that's a little bit about seeds today. I hope you learned something. Thank you for sticking by. I'll see you next time.